Hey everyone, this is Jasmine.
And this is Angelique.
And thank you for tuning in to the Quarantine Chronicles.
And today what we're going to do is we're going to dive deep into Bad Bunny's newest, or I guess most recent music video.
Oh, I don't think it's his most recent. I think he wanted another one. I don't know. It just came out like 2 months ago. Yo Perreo Sola. So we're going to touch on the topic of how he subverted machismo and embraces his femininity and how this is communicated through the song and visuals. So we're mostly just going to be talking about this song in particular because we could say a lot about him in general.
That's true.
Yeah.
To start off, we can just really talk about how
To really start off, can we just state our positionality with Bad Bunny?
What do you mean?
We're both not fans.
Well, we're not like fans, but we stan someone who is supportive to the LGBTQ plus community. And he's using his platform for something that he really stands for. And I think that's, as a reggaeton rapper, it's
a big deal. Yeah. I think what I'm trying to state is that just the fact that we're not really reggaeton fans.
But I don't think you have to be a reggaeton fan to really appreciate what he's doing for the community.
I appreciate who he is, his personhood, and his personality, and like his politics. Mm-hmm. I love it. And actually, for people who are just not familiar with Bad Bunny in general, we should probably state he's a reggaeton artist. He's only had 2 studio recordings, but he's really big for his politics, his fashion, who he is. He's just a really cool guy, and he's really funny. He's really cute. But I don't know. I feel like I can't really say that I listen to his songs. Although I just started listening to this latest album because of this song.
And I think that's perfect.
Yeah. He did it.
He got the right attention from the right people, and even if he didn't get it from the right people, he's still getting attention.
In general.
And it comes back to this whole machismo within, Latinx community and Latin America, and how it's really affected women.
Yeah, because the main focus of the music video and of the song, he benches both men and women, but primarily in the music video is all women who he's showcasing.
And I think with the recent murder of Alexa, a trans woman, they were saying that it was a man in a skirt, but he's made, appearances on live television that no, they didn't kill a man in a skirt, they killed Alexa. He
corrected major news productions that were kind of spreading transphobia on this recent really sort of
femicide.
This was femicide because this was somebody who was targeted for their gender identity. This was on, I think, Jimmy Kimmel, I forgot. But he wore a skirt with it as well. It was paired. But yeah, we stan. Okay, so starting off, Yo Perreo Sola. This song came out with his latest album, which was dropped in February of this year in 2020. The music video to the song, however, came out in March, 2 months ago. So it's super relevant, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people have seen it or heard of it, at least on social media. But the title of the song, Yo Perreo Sola, in English, it basically means to loosely to like hoe out by one's self. It mostly alludes to just like dancing provocatively and twerking. So that's like the English translation, so people understand that that's what it's really all about. And in the music video, it's really shown in that way too. To summarize it really quick, he performs in 2 different drag personas in the music video. It starts off with that. That's like the first frame. And later you see another frame where he's also dancing in drag. And then there's a lot of different frames of women also dancing. And it's just a celebration of women just doing what they want.
To touch on that, it's just what I really understood and got from that music video is that he wants to teach whoever doesn't understand the meaning of no means no.
Yes.
He really wanted to touch base on that and just be like, look, stop pressuring her. She doesn't want to dance with you, or they don't want to dance with you.
Stop harassing women in the club.
Stop harassing women. Yes, exactly. And, it's really just, I think it's like a really powerful statement because it's like supporting women doing what they want for themselves. And it's also just trying to teach men and anyone who just doesn't understand no means no to just accept rejection.
Yeah.
And I think that has to do with like a lot of egotistical and machismo
tendencies.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, it's really rampant within the Latinx community for just cis-het men to be really violent in the way that they approach women.
Because of fragile...
Because of their fragile ego.
Yes.
Like really. And like this is generations and generations of this thing, like of these behaviors and toxic tendencies being built.
And it's all linked back to
colonization.
Yeah. And the Spaniards and all the gender roles that were never ever a thing in the native and indigenous people of like the Americas.
Yeah. Southern, like Latin America. So like before Spanish colonization, indigenous folks really had no clear concept of a binary or gender in general, nor really sexuality. They kind of just operated at their own. And then it wasn't until Spanish colonization where it was introduced through like really strict religion, Christianity, Catholicism, where women have to be a certain way, men have to be a certain way.
Men had certain roles.
There was a binary suddenly.
There was always they somehow just put men into one category with roles and, you know, jobs, and the same for women. But we all know, if we all study our history, women have always been the backbone of cultures.
Yeah. All like native or indigenous cultures primarily also they're mostly matriarchs, not patriarchs.
Yes,
they're matriarchs. And if not, they were mostly egalitarian. So like through Western colonization, a lot of times it just fucked up the system of like equity.
It really did. It really threw off. It's also another way that colonization just tried to do a genocide culturally. But that's besides the point.
We're going to go back to the music video. Yes. But we just wanted to provide context on that, like,
and some history for those who may not know.
Yeah. We were never always like this. Like, it was through Western colonization for the reason why we've internalized this really toxic, rampant, hyper masculine ideology, which wasn't there always. This was through just Western colonization. It really was. Back to the music video, though. I wanted to start off with his drag personas, because it's a really big deal for a reggaeton artist to be performing in drag. Reggaeton as a genre is honestly low-key, like, high-key, super misogynistic.
I was going to say, well, that's actually a good point. And also, like, and I might be speaking, I'm just spitballing at this point, but to me, it's kind of like the Latino, Latinx kind of rap. Hip-hop rap in a way, but of course it's a little bit more fast-paced in terms of like tempo and stuff, but that's what I get from it.
Yeah.
And I feel like we all have seen music videos and like in rap where women are just, you know, treated unfairly.
They're objectified.
Exactly.
They're props in music videos and in song lyrics. And it really is prevalent within like the reggaeton genre. So that's why what Bad Bunny does in his music, in his politics, and in his who he is as a person totally subverts machismo in that way. And he did it so well when he was performing in drag. And he looked so good. And like I think one of the frames that stood out to me the most that I love was when he was grinding on himself in a single frame. And I loved it so much just because it kind of, I feel like, communicated this idea of duality within the same body, feminism and masculinity within the same body. And he portrayed it so well. And like there was a huge like strong goal in his message, but it was also sort of spread through like a song that you want to video to.
Yeah.
You know? Yes. Things he did.
I think with what he did too is he really just showed us that so we clearly don't know what his sexuality is.
He never really stated.
But he has no problem like showing us how he feels, because whatever
how fluid it is.
Exactly, because it doesn't matter what his sexuality is. The fact that he is so comfortable just doing what he did, I think just speaks out
against machismo.
Exactly. And I just feel like a lot of people may not be secure with their sexuality, and they're afraid to explore who are so afraid of the idea that they lash out towards those who identify in the LGBTQ community. And, you know, like, that's how a lot of hate crimes? Hate crimes happen.
And hate rhetoric in general.
Exactly. So
folks that are homophobic are just intimidated by the fluidity of sexuality. And Bad Bunny kind of embraces it and encourages it and celebrates it. And celebrates it so well. And I think that defies machismo to the core. Because honestly, at the center of machismo, at the center of toxic masculinity, at least like traditional American hegemonic masculinity that we see, is a fragile ego.
Yes.
And he kind of just totally just shits on it and is like so good at just embracing fluidity and sexuality and gender expression and so much.
And he's educating. I feel like he's educating the pop, you know, like everybody who may not know. So I really, you know, I
respect him a lot as an artist.
Exactly. Especially to come out again, like as a reggaeton artist, and he's doing this, which is, I would consider it to be like quote, taboo. What other reggaeton, what other like rapper have you seen?
That we know of.
Yes. That has done this. Like, I know there's articles on Snapchat where I've seen this transgender person. I forget what they identify as, so I just want to be respectful. Genderqueer. And what they do is they rap. And, you know, but they're not known. It's
underground.
Exactly.
He's like the first mainstream. I think that's the biggest point of all. He kind of speaks for other artists who are underground that are about this, that their whole livelihood and artistry is surrounding this, but because they don't have the same access and the same platform as him, he's doing it.
He's paving the way.
He really
is. And we stand. I stand. So
absolutely.
I'm sure there's others who agree.
One last thing really quickly that I wanted to touch on was what I mentioned earlier. He's dancing in a room with a neon light that says, oh my God, where'd it go? Ni una menos, which is actually a grassroots movement surrounding femicide, which began in 2015 in Argentina. We were researching it, and it seems like it has crossed over in other Latin American countries, but the primary ties come back to Argentina. And I think he really highlighted it in the background with him dancing in front of it in drag. I think it's
a message.
It's such a strong message, and I think it's really revolutionary. It's really radical. And I think he just shows the support just for women and anybody who's marginalized. And especially, again, against a system that so heavily thrives on toxic masculinity, that so heavily thrives on like machismo, transphobia, homophobia, any of the phobias. But like, but I don't know, I gotta give it to him. I didn't even know, like, this music video was educational and a bop at the same time.
Yes.
I don't know how he did it, but he did it.
He did it, and he did it with such grace.
He really did. Touched on everything I think that needed to be touched on.
Yeah, so I guess that concludes
our first episode. Thank you everyone for listening to Quarantine Chronicles. Again, my name is Jasmine.
And I'm Angelique.
And good night.
We hope you enjoyed. Okay, now good night.
Bye.